India is filthy, and I'm not talking about it being just a little untidy or slightly messy. No, it's a national disaster of litter, stench, and filth that has made the country infamous worldwide. The sad truth? It's not just poverty or lack of resources to blame. There are many countries poorer than India, yet they don't win Olympic gold in creating mountains of litter by the sidewalk. The real culprit is a shocking lack of civic sense, a mindset where cleanliness stops at the doorstep of one's home, and beyond that, everything is someone else's problem. No doubt you have seen this recent video of a man picking up litter by a tourist spot and berating Indians for littering in the first place. But what happens? They just nod their head at him and don't listen. It's the reason why the world's largest democracy is also one of the dirtiest places on earth. Walk through any Indian city and you'll see what I mean. Piles of garbage spilling onto the streets, plastic bags flying in the air like some kind of national flag, open drains filled with black, toxic sludge. The stench of rotting food, urine, and smoke from burning trash hits you before you even turn a corner. And yet people walk past all this every day as if it's normal. Why? Because in India, littering has become a national sport. Throwing trash on the ground is second nature. Spitting paan on walls is practically cultural heritage. It's not about lacking dustbins. They exist, but why bother using them when you can just toss your waste onto the street and walk away? It's as if most Indians see their country as one big dustbin. This behavior bleeds into how India treats its so-called holy rivers. The Ganges, revered as a goddess, is worshipped by millions. Pilgrims bathe in it, drink its water, pray to it. And yet, this same river is one of the most polluted in the world. It's a cocktail of sewage, industrial waste, toxic chemicals, animal carcasses, and yes, even human remains. In Varanasi, cremation sites line the banks, and sometimes half-burned bodies are dumped straight into the water because families can't afford enough wood for a full cremation. So while people call the Ganges mother, they also poison her every single day. Respect? It's an empty word when actions scream the opposite. Remember when that YouTuber, bald and bankrupt, took a boat trip in the Ganges? There was litter, trash, and waste as far as the eye could see, as well as people trying to scam him, of course, and it doesn't stop at rivers. The air in many Indian cities is toxic enough to shave years off your life. Roadsides are dumping grounds for plastic waste. Beaches are littered with trash brought in by rivers flowing downstream. Public toilets, where they exist, are often unusable because they're never cleaned. It's a vicious cycle. People don't care because it's dirty anyway, and it's dirty because people don't care. But here's where it gets really ugly. Ask the average Indian why the country is filthy, and you'll likely hear one of two answers. It's the government's job to clean it, or it's the job of the lower castes. Cleaning and picking up trash is considered degrading. Manual scavenger work fit only for Dalits or low-income workers. So, while middle-class Indians keep their homes sparkling clean, they step outside and happily toss their trash into the street, because someone less than them will clean it up eventually. This toxic mindset, fueled by centuries of caste prejudice, has turned cleanliness into a privilege instead of a shared responsibility. Now let's talk about hypocrisy. Step into any Indian household and you'll be shocked at how spotless it is. Floors are mopped daily, shoes are left at the door, plates are washed and stacked neatly. But take one step outside and the same people who obsess over home hygiene spit on the pavement, toss their snack wrappers out of car windows, and let their dogs poop on the street without cleaning up. The excuse? Everyone else does it, or this isn't my property. Civic sense, the basic idea that public spaces belong to everyone and should be kept clean, is almost non-existent. It's a culture of me and mine, with no thought given to the community or the environment. Now compare this to East Asia. In Japan, for example, you'd struggle to find a trash can on the street, yet you won't see litter anywhere. Why? Because every Japanese citizen feels responsible for their surroundings. People carry their trash home if they can't find a bin. Children are taught from a young age to clean their classrooms and schoolyards. It's part of the culture, a sense of duty to keep shared spaces clean because they belong to everyone. There's no caste-based stigma attached to cleaning. It's a basic life skill and a sign of respect for others. The result? Streets so clean you could eat off them, rivers that sparkle, public toilets that don't make you gag. India loves to boast about being a rising superpower, a global IT hub, a spacefaring nation, yet it can't keep its streets free of trash. It can't stop sewage from flowing into its holy rivers. It can't make its public spaces remotely livable. And outsiders see this. Tourists arrive expecting the incredible India from glossy travel ads, but are greeted with mountains of garbage, filthy train stations, and smells that turn stomachs. Over time, this image sticks, feeding a stereotype that Indians themselves hate, that India is dirty and therefore Indians are dirty. It's unfair on an individual level. There are millions who do care, who do try, but stereotypes are born from patterns, and India has failed spectacularly to break that pattern. There is a surge in anti-Indian rhetoric in the West, and it's not hard to understand, especially when Indian immigrants bring their lack of civic sense with them to these nations. And before anyone says it's poverty, let's be clear, poor countries can be clean. Look at Vietnam. Look at rural China decades ago, even before the economic boom. Lack of wealth doesn't have to mean lack of cleanliness. It's about collective attitude. In India, the problem isn't money. It's mindsets, laziness, caste discrimination, and a total lack of accountability. Even government campaigns like Swachh Bharat have failed to make a serious dent because they don't tackle the root problem. You can build millions of toilets, but if people don't use them, they become storage rooms or worse, garbage dumps. Remember the Air India plane that had to ground early because its toilets were rammed full with towels and waste? You can put dustbins everywhere, but if everyone believes throwing it on the street is fine, the bins will stay empty and the streets filthy. True cleanliness starts with civic sense, a cultural shift where every citizen takes personal responsibility for public spaces. And let's not ignore the absurd irony. In India, cows often receive more respect than human beings or the environment they live in. Streets are filled with holy cows wandering freely, eating plastic waste because people throw trash everywhere. Meanwhile, beggars, sanitation workers, and ordinary pedestrians are treated with disdain. You can worship animals all day long, but if your country is a toxic landfill, what kind of spiritual purity is that? India wants to be seen as a modern, developed country, but modernity isn't just skyscrapers and software exports. It's clean streets, safe drinking water, functioning sewage systems, and a population that sees keeping their environment clean as everyone's job until Indians stop thinking someone else will clean it and start realizing that every wrapper tossed, every spit on the wall, every trash pile ignored is part of the problem. India will remain trapped in this filth, and the world will keep noticing. If you found this video eye-opening, then hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.